Yeah, ready?
Go for it.
Alright, well, it's time to address the elephant in the room, which is the massive gaping hole in my 1984 SVO. As you can see, there is a hole in my frame right here. I can just stick my finger through, as well as
the strut towers on both sides. The sway bar, what's it called? Connection places just sheared off.
Yep, as you can see, the OEM sway bar is right here. As well as the frame that we need from a turbo coupe. I think we snatched this off of an 87 turbo coupe. So we have the frame that's ready to be welded in, and then obviously for the strut towers themselves, Alex is going to fab something custom up. Shouldn't be too difficult. But in order for any of that to happen, the motor has to come out. That's going to be the main focus of this video. Pulling the motor out. And just like we did with the EF build, obviously we're not just going to leave the engine bay looking like this. We're going to do some probably hot boy color in here. So I'm still figuring out what color I want. Mainly, maybe want bronze in here with metallic flake, but we'll see. So yeah, I guess it's time to start disassembling the car. Hopefully for today, or just for this video in general, as we get the front clip off and the engine removed. Does that sound right?
Yeah. All right. Let's show what kind of parts you got as well. All right.
All right, so we have some parts for the car. Obviously, it's impossible to find 2.3 turbo engine mounts, but there are some companies that make them aftermarket, and I forget the name of the company, but I will definitely leave the link in the description for these motor mounts. But they are fully custom made, and they're adjustable, so we'll be able to throw these in.
Damn, look at those. Hold on. Yeah, those are thick. Is it aluminum or is it steel?
Let's check.
Steel. Yeah, steel. This is some thick motor mounts. Welds are okay. I mean, I don't like that one weld, but the other welds are all right. Yeah, poly.
These were $200.
Yeah, $200. Is it just, how many is it? Just those two?
Yeah, just 2 motor mounts and a bunch of hardware, and I don't even think it comes with instructions. It comes with a sticker though.
What's it called?
23parts.com.
23parts.com?
Yep.
All right. This is not sponsored. He bought that with his own money.
Yep. So that's that. Also, we pulled this from, I think, your shed, not even a junkyard.
This is from my Kazashi. Yeah, my Kazashi had that, and the issue with this is it was too long, so when you screwed it in all the way, it would keep you from going into reverse. Like you actually couldn't,
really?
you couldn't like press down or get into reverse. So I got rid of that.
Okay, well maybe it'll fit in this video. Hopefully I can't let anybody drive it else. I'll try to put it in 6th, which I don't want that happening because there is no 6th in the T5. Alright, so we also snagged these Maximum Motorsports lower control arms, so they come with poly bushings. Got these for a pretty sweet deal. What was it, like 40 bucks for these?
Maybe less.
It might have been less.
Yeah, I was buying 31 spline Moser axles for mine car, as well as the C-clip illuminators, and the guy basically threw this in, as well as some, was it Lakewood?
Yeah, it was Lakewood rear shocks.
Lakewood rear drag shocks or something. So yeah, these are aluminum. They aren't adjustable, but that's completely fine. Poly bushings, and this is what, MMR, I believe?
Yeah, Maximum Motorsport.
Yeah, so it's a good company, and I mean, I don't know how much of a difference it'll make, but we'll see.
Alright, so we have a boost gauge that I'm borrowing from Alex. It is a S7 Envision gauge, and we picked this up from our local speed shop. It's called Speed Seller. So if you're local to the Bordentown area in New Jersey, so central Jersey just about, really good speed shop, really good prices. He doesn't mark up anything, so I really recommend you keep these guys in business. They are small businesses, and they're going to be what's keeping us alive. Once the EPA outlaws, let's say, eBay and all the other shops from selling aftermarket parts. So yeah.
So a big shout out to him. I mean, they don't make these anymore. This is some old stock he had, so he let me have it for a really good deal. But he still has a bunch of parts. Like, I mean, he has old school Honda parts. Like I bought, you guys haven't seen it yet, obviously, but I have side skirts for the EF. I mean, they're like actual Buddy Club racing ones. So it's nice that they're not like some reps. Yep. It's like good quality stuff. But yeah, he also does mainly like a lot of just like American muscle cars, like Chevys, Mopars, Fords. He keeps a lot of parts in stock, but if he doesn't have anything in stock, he can get them shipped to you like next day shipping. Yep. He'll do research on what you need to make sure the part fits, and I mean, he's a really good guy. Yeah. So yeah, highly recommend going to Speed Seller.
Alright, so the reason for this boost gauge is I do have a boost controller, a manual one, because ever since we did the audio system in this car, we drove the car without the center console being plugged in, like the boost controller itself with the switch, and ever since then it's been stuck on 12 pounds. And also I realized that this car had used the super chip, which is very old technology, but what it did is it promised 260 horsepower by turning up the boost to 18 pounds and, you know, pulling timing and all that. But I guess that got reset. When I was driving it without the center console, so now I'm just stuck on 12 pounds, and I don't want to deal with the super chip. I don't trust it, so I'm going to do a manual boost controller in it, and I don't trust the boost gauge that's factory with this car, so that's why I need to borrow this just to set the boost to probably 18 or 19 pounds, depending on how frisky I'm feeling.
Most of that was out of focus, but that's fine. We'll just apologize to the viewers.
Yeah.
But yeah. Is there anything else?
So there's also a couple things that need to be finished up. Obviously, when we're installing the sway bar for the front, we're gonna need our what the hell are these called? End links. We're gonna need end links. So I do have end links for the car as well. Nice little poly bushing. So I'll throw those on the SN95 lower control arms. We have a timing belt kit. Probably gonna do that when the engine's out of the car. We'll see. It requires a special tool for the tensioner, but I doubt it'll be that difficult. I also have a full Felpro gasket set. Depending on what this car needs, most 2.3s just need a valve cover and the PCV valve replaced. That's the main issues when it comes to oil leaks. And finally, we have torque box reinforcements, which that will be definitely handy because every time I step on it, something clunks back there. So it'll definitely have to be re-welded, and then we have to put these reinforcements in.
Yeah, with Fox bodies, you gotta make sure there's like 2 stable like modifications you need to do to them. One's right over there. That's a Steeda subframe connectors. It doesn't have to be a Steeda one, but they make some of the best parts for Fox bodies, and you're gonna need some sort of torque box reinforcements, or you can say goodbye to your torque boxes, or they're gonna rip out. It doesn't matter if you're stock. I mean, these are 40-year-old cars. You're gonna have some chassis like what's it called, flex, and stuff is just gonna get old and break. So yeah. Well, on to the next thing, which is the subframe connector.
Well, yeah, the subframe connector, which we just talked about, but my favorite part is this Cobra 8.8. So it's
not the amplifier under it?
Yeah, that is the amplifier. We put that away. Anyway, so it's the Cobra 8.8. We picked this up for a crazy good deal. It's obviously not the IRS. I know all SVO guys are going to be mad at me for not swapping to an IRS. It's okay, I don't want one. Or actually, I can't afford one, but it's okay. So this is 8.8 with 355s. It comes with discs, Cobra, everything. I get solid mounts up top, and yeah, I mean, pretty simple.
Yeah, so we spent the past couple days just refreshing it. We've already had videos on it, so there's no point. Waiting for some parts to come in to rebuild these calipers, but we got sandblasted and painted cherry red. Oh yeah, forgot about that part.
So, as I mentioned in the previous video, we also got, or actually we replaced the clutch, and along with the clutch replacement, we replaced the flywheel to a semi-lightened flywheel. It's a 5-pound difference, so it's not that big of a difference, but we can rev up a lot quicker. And along with that, we have the 8.8 that I just mentioned with the 355 gears, once again, quicker acceleration, and one of the most important parts for quicker acceleration, aluminum driveshaft. So we also snagged this for a crazy deal. I think it was $100 that we paid for it.
Yeah, $100 for that. I think it was it 400 for the diff?
400 for the 8.8. Well, $100 and then $40 for a. What the fuck are these called? Bump steer kit.
Yeah, bump steer kits. With it's like 2 kits of bushings. I mean spacers as well. So we got a bunch to play around with.
So we have a million parts for this car, and it's going to be a lot of work to get done. But like I said, for now, get this engine out of here.
For some of our subscribers, you might notice we're in a different location. This is what we're gonna call the garage for now. You guys probably been looking at that. Got some Ford banners, but yeah, it's a little humble beginnings. A little start over. Yep. So yeah, let's get to work.
As with any time that major engine work is being done, things become a lot easier once we remove the hood. But in order to do that, we first need to remove the hood light that hasn't worked since I bought the car. When removing the hood, it's better to have 2 people, though it is possible to do it by yourself. Just make sure to use the hood prop.
here's a little update. We got the power steering out now. Currently draining the radiator. Get the radiator out. When the radiator is out, we'll start tackling with deleting the AC. AC's out, then we'll make sure to get any vacuum lines, hoses, and electrical connections off. We'll lift the car up and start working out from underneath. We're gonna be taking the exhaust off, the transmission off. Yeah, and then everything else should just lift right out of the engine bay. That's the dryer out.
Now just some annoying bolts down there.
Yeah, we'll just unbolt this with the frame, and then hopefully everything can just come out easily.
Yep.
This is just chilling here. Should be unbolted.
I think so.
Yeah, it's just sitting.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
We're good. Okay.
Yeah, we're just trying to get most of the boring stuff done off camera. I mean, there's not much entertaining aspects of pulling a radiator and AC out, so yeah. And if you're thinking this is more of a like how-to do, it's mainly just take a socket, see if it fits on the bolt. If it does, just take it off, and you just keep doing that, and then stuff will just come off. If there's clips, you just pry them off. That's it.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll get back to you when this is off.
Go inhale some R12 now.
Mid SVO AC system for sale. Give us an offer. We have no clue if it works. We never even tried to make it work.
You want to move the motor around?
What, the 2 fingers.
Nice.
Well, it's mostly this mount moving around. Can we even lift the motor by this? Hopefully.
Alright, well, we wrestled with the transmission for a little bit. As you can see, there's still a lot of grease on here left. That's pretty nice. But tranny's out. I pulled the starter out. Starter wire is also disconnected. So the motor's just about ready to come out. Now, the one weird thing that I don't understand about SVOs, and I haven't seen this on any other car. Yeah, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but there's these shocks right here. And they're literal shocks for your engine. So I guess we'll have to unbolt those as well before we pull out the actual mounts. But just anytime we pull trances out of this car, it likes to fall out. So it fell out again this time. And the throwout battery came with it, so I guess once the engine's out, I'll pop it back in. But yeah, now just the engine, yeah.
Yeah, now it's the engine. We're gonna put the car back down on the ground. We're gonna move it kind of out. Maybe we even open the garage door, have it out like a foot or two, just so that we have more room to pick it up with the crane and put it down. But it should be smooth sailing from here, as long as we find a good place to pick it up by. But because we have the transmission out, we don't really have to worry about there being like an extra 3 feet to work around with. Like literally we could just hook it up this and it's gonna sit like that and it won't hit this. But yeah, we'll see. We'll find a good place to like latch onto, and that's all. So yeah, next step is gonna be the motor mounts. Hopefully all the hoses are off. Oh, and those weird shock looking things, but yeah, there's not much left.
Make sure that you have all bolts loose and ready to go once the engine is hooked onto the hoist. Find a safe mounting location for the hoist. In this case, the 2.3 came with a hook for pulling the engine. It makes it a lot easier if the car is on the ground rather than in the air, so we're lowering her down as well. When pulling a motor, you really don't want to find out the tensile strength of your hoses and wires. So before jacking up the engine, make sure there's nothing connecting the engine to the chassis, other than the motor mounts.
Alright, that's that. She is fully out of the car. And now there's a lot of work to get done in here. I mean, wow. So, yeah, we'll see you in the next video when we're actually going to be refreshing everything, as well as refreshing the engine.